Well, we are in the moment with Brady Toops, and of course, we are here to talk about the Grand Slam in 2004 against Wichita State in the regionals. We'll set the scene a little bit. 2 outs, down 2. You have to win this game or you're eliminated from the regionals. And now you're at the plate up to bat. So take us from there and walk us through that moment.
Well, just the biggest moment of my entire life up to this point and baseball career. It was an interesting game. It was sort of back and forth. We scored some runs. They scored some runs. We actually had to win 2 games that day, so we were kind of in it for the long haul. And I remember I was maybe the 7th guy up that inning. And I remember leaving the field, running out the field after the 8th inning and thinking, well, this is it. I mean, we're down by 3 at that point. We were down 9-6. And I was thinking, this is probably the last moment I'll step onto a college field, because the professional draft was the next day. I ended up getting drafted in the 10th round by the St. Louis Cardinals and played in the minor leagues for a few years. So I remember sitting in the dugout absolutely depressed before any of this happened, thinking, this is it. I mean, it's over. And so when our guys, first I got on and we kind of started to create a rally, I remember getting into the on deck circle and Danny Hamlin was up. And it was still 2 outs at that point. So if he got out, I wouldn't even have had a chance to get up. And he draws a walk, and now I'm going, uh-oh, here we go. I remember as I stepped into the box, I was thinking to myself, okay, you got to think positive, right? The last thing I wanted to do was ground out to the second baseman on the first pitch and, sort of swing at a bad pitch. But I also thought to myself, if I get a good pitch on the first one, I don't want to miss it. Sometimes that's all you get. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, of the years and years of baseball instruction and coaching, I literally only had one thing I could remember, and it was what my dad would tell me as like an 8-year-old kid. He'd say, "Brady, just see a good pitch and hit it." And that was the only thing going through my mind. So I stepped up and it was a first pitch changeup.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember the pitch? It was a changeup. When did you realize after you made contact with the ball that it had a chance to get out of there?
Yeah, so when the guy wound up, he threw it, and it was kind of a middle way. You could kind of see a hump in it. And I mean, listen, I never hit changeups, which is hilarious. That the greatest moment in my whole baseball career, I hit a changeup, and I didn't hit very many home runs. I think it's funny that people think that I was a home run hitter. I think I had 5 home runs that year. I also don't hit opposite field home runs. So the fact of all of these moments kind of coming together in this moment is so unlikely. That's what I think is hilarious. But I saw it out of the hand. I knew it was a changeup. I also think I was a little bit tired at the end of the season, and if he would have thrown me a fastball inside, I probably got sawed off and grounded out. So it's kind of perfect with my bat speed. When I was coming through the zone, it honestly felt like slow motion. Mm-hmm. And when I hit the ball, it was one of those moments, and for those of you who've played baseball or softball, where you barely even feel it. It hits the sweet spot so perfectly that it's just like, you got it. I didn't think it was going to get out. I mean, left center field, opposite field, I thought it was going to be double. I was going, get over him as I'm rounding first base. I get about halfway between first and second base. I see the left fielder jump against the wall and then fall down. And I didn't know if he had it in his glove or not, because it was hard to tell. At that moment, I looked over to Coach Van Horn, who was just beyond the third base bag, and he started jumping up and down and doing the home run signal. At that moment, I was like, no way, it's out. This is crazy. And everybody just lost their minds.
Yeah, when you got to home plate, your whole team's there. Everybody's dogpiling on top of you like you're about to go to Omaha. This is still the regionals. What was that moment like to celebrate with your team after you touched home plate?
It was incredible. I remember seeing the group at home plate, and the umpire was pushing them away from home plate because he wanted to make sure that I touched the bag. And so I thought I can either jump on home plate or I can launch off home plate into the group. And that was the better decision in that moment. And they were all just going nuts. And I remember they hit my helmet and it hit the bridge of my nose, and I thought I broke my nose. So I was like, I got to get out of here. But the really special thing about that moment was my family was there. My mom, my dad, I had brothers and sisters there. My grandfather was there, who's since passed. And it's so special to have sort of this the most massive moment of your whole sports career where you get to share it with your family. It was really, it was really a moving experience. I remember after we finished that inning, we actually had to go out and finish the bottom half of the night because we were the away team. And then as you speak about, we actually had to win another game and then go to the Super Regionals, and then we made it to the College World Series. But I remember going out to warm up the pitcher in the bottom of the ninth, put my mask on, and I just started crying because it was just the magnitude of the moment. It was almost, it just overwhelmed my nervous system. And man, I think back to that moment. I think, well, what if I would have struck out? Over the last 16 years, every time I come back to Arkansas and watch a baseball weekend, people come up to me and say, I was there. I remember that moment. Brady Toops, the Brady Crunch. And I guess I just feel fortunate that the moment turned out well rather than not turning out well. And that every time I go back to Arkansas, I feel super loved and super accepted. And I'm really, really grateful for my time there.
I know athletes always want to have a moment that they can look back on fondly. This is your moment. I've asked everyone that I've done an In the Moment piece with, how many times have you gone back and watched it and listened to Chuck's call of that Grand Slam?
Yeah, probably 100 times. Most of them are around friends, and somebody will bring it up. And the funny thing is, I went on from baseball and had a career in music and played music for the last decade. And so I have a segment of people there who only know me as a baseball player. And then I have a segment of people only know me as a musician. And then there's a whole other segment of people who only know me because of reality TV and The Bachelorette. So there's moments where I'm hanging with these different groups of people, and somebody will go, Brady played baseball. And I go, yeah. And they'll go, you got to show them the video. And I'll show them the video, and they'll say, I had no idea. So I still get chills. I watch it as a fan. I don't even watch it as myself. It's almost like it feels like somebody else did it. It's been 16 years since this moment happened. And the funny thing about it is every, I believe June 6th is when it happened. Every June 6th, my dad sends me a text and he says, like this year, 16-year anniversary, 16 years ago, you hit the Grand Slam that we all remember. And so, man, like what a beautiful moment. What a beautiful memory.
Well, 16 years, still one of the best Arkansas baseball moments in program history. And we thank you for being in the moment with us.
Grateful to be with you guys.